make this game last a little bit longer and try and get their Drow some items so she can avoid this Weaver, so she can get away from the Mars, so she can get away from the Bristleback, because, yeah, they can kind of just run at her this game.
Yeah. I also have a little bit of an issue with getting Drow and picking her against heroes that have natural damage reduction, right? That is not linked to their armor. So, because then, you know, the whole point of marksmanship ignoring armor is not really that relevant this game except for DP, but DP is not a hero that builds armor naturally, or builds agility rather. So, I don't know, I'm not completely sold on the Drow pick. I think there's just no better carries. Giant is in trouble though. Giant is gonna die.
He might.
Yep.
Yep, he is.
That was easy. No?
Fairy Fire.
Willow?
He's missing a lot of...
Giant?
Yeah. He was missing strength though, so he was not going to be making it out of there.
Okay. Alright, good to know.
Only 4 strength taken from the Willow, total of 80 HP, but when that's more than 10% of your HP pool, yeah, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, let's look at the bright side though for them, as I was mentioning, which is that if they get off of like a good laning, right, which is their advantage against the Mars, and you know, bottom they can like drag waves and because Wind Ranger's good at doing that, and try to just block with your capability in your favor, stuff like that. If you manage to do that, you could have a pretty solid like start, and from then the points you were making about their team fight being a bit superior could really come into play. So that's good. I think the Void Spirit's DP matchup can be beat by skill. Honestly, like if you know how to play this as Void Spirit, it's not the worst matchup in the world. You max Dissimulate, you can always recover.
Yeah, and Tombstone.
I have not much else.
Tombstone in general, I think, tends to be pretty strong in the early game, right? When it's max level 4, and it takes it seems a little bit of time to actually delete it because they don't have, you know, what is it, a Snapfire? They don't have what else deletes Tombstone super easily? Just basically Snapfire, right, in the early game, with that value point and Little Shredder. It is a little bit scary. You know, max Tombstone on a good cliff or something like that is going to really strongly dissuade these just run at them drafts kind of in the early game. Maybe that's enough to bail you out of 1 or 2 bad fights, but eventually they're going to not care. So again, it is pretty crucial that, like you say, they get a good start in these lanes and they press their advantage as much as they can.
I mean, you're right. You don't actually have the best Tombstone hitters, Weaver aside, and Weaver's a 5, right? So maybe you can get away with like a couple of good early Tombstones before you get any sort of attack speed on the
Exactly,
bristle.
yeah, exactly. But then, you know, once level 2 Warpath is up, and then you're like, oh, okay, guys, he doesn't care about my Tombstone anymore. Then you have issues. That's exactly what I'm saying. But you know, Tombstone super strong. That's basically what all the hero is these days. Tombstone.
I wonder if there's a moment where you're like, oh no, the zombies are hitting him from behind. That's not good. More quill sprays. So that might happen. Bottom lane, as we're seeing, Bolo is struggling against his Weaver. Pingu is just going for the right target, and I think Bolo's gonna die here. And it's gonna be given to Scourge MacDuck, as they also get Little Boy's Courier. Little Boy also kind of weak in this lane. Scourge MacDuck just continues the onslaught, but they realize there's no reason to dive. They honestly could have, but why bother? There's like a TP here, and they save Little Boy, or you know, he has 400 HP. You could just go back to the lane and not miss the last hit. That's fine.
Yeah, speaking of HP, with 1,000 of it is this Undying, but now we see the Undying start to be a little bit weak because all of his decay stacks are ending, and he is going to die. He's probably not too unhappy he died. He did consume a mango, I believe, and that's a little bit unfortunate. Maybe trying to get off a last-second solar rip. I don't think that would have saved him. As Little Boy down bottom with the Swarm Beetle is going to be harassed back. But that's the Undying problem, is you make so much space early on, and Lias has done well with this space, 13 and 4 compared to the 8 and 0, so, you know, mission accomplished for the Undying. Now he's died and returned to the lane, and he's going to look to do more of the same. I don't think I've ever seen boots on the ground like that. That was interesting. I didn't know they had their own, like, on-the-ground animation.
Yeah, they do, yeah. 2 little booties. Yeah. But if you upgrade them, it just becomes a normal
exactly,
item.
that's what I figured. I've never seen anyone just drop regular boots. Crazy. People drop, you know, Arcanes and Greaves all the time for, you know, stick and whatever, but I've never seen that one.
Oh, you should come to my games. It happens all the time. People drop boots all the time.
It's so weird. And then they just buy themselves Shadow Amulets, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing? You need boots to run.
Yeah, I always tell them, like, what is this strat? And they go, the no moving strat, AFK Fountain. I'm like, I don't think that works to win games. No. NA games, huh? What a doozy. But we're seeing Scorch MacDuck actually struggling in the last department. He's doing really well at harassing Little Boy, but actually missing on last as a result. And so here's where the strength of the Drow Ranger winning her lane comes into play. If Lies can somehow utilize this early lead then maybe she might be able to actually win the like 10-15 minute mark and just start to push objectives, put a lot of pressure. Drow's a decent hero at doing that. I just feel like Bristleback naturally becomes strong with like 2 really cheap items.
Yeah.
And that's one of the scary things about him as a carry.
Yeah, I'd agree. And he's already got this Ring of Health, so he's not going to really be too bothered by anyone in this bottom lane anymore. But yeah, that's the problem with Drow, right? Is she gets her good lane start, she can maybe hold back the Bristle, especially with Tombstone, to just kind of delay him as he slowly lumbers up to her. But as soon as Mars gets his first item, probably a blink, he's going to be right on top of the Drow Ranger. And then, again, she has more issues. She just needs a lot of defensive items. Well, basically just like the Hurricane Pike to maybe be a bit safe this game. But there's no save on her team, just heals, some sustain, and that's about it. 5manmidas, they don't have, like, the best initiation either. Blink on Shaker, again, is pretty strong, but when Windrunner's your other support, it leaves a little bit to be desired on top of this Undying.
Yeah, it's Shackle Shot, right? So it's like a lot of single target. If you catch someone out of position, like you, Wind Ranger plus Drow can punish her really hard, but that's it from my perspective. I will say though, you might have to itemize a bit different than usually would on the cut. Like you might see the Blink Dagger on DP that we used to see actually popular in NA region. I remember Gunner being one of the players that used to love that all the time. You might be able to see, Blink Dagger on Bristle. Honestly, this game, just to get close to the Drow, she is their one and only win condition.
Yep.
So if you get rid of the Drow, you've got...
Yeah, very true. That's very true. Yeah.
Scourge. He's actually taking a fair amount of damage, but also giving that damage back. And Bolo, he has a bug on him, and a bug trying to chase after him, and both will kill him.
I'm kind of curious as to what RRL is going to build on this Void Spirit right now, just the stats items, of course, as he gets his first points in level 6. No points in the Aether Remnant quite yet, as he's just looking to maximize his farm versus DP. Kind of a hard kill, as she's pretty tanky with the dual null talismans, clocking in at 1,000 HP. But here's this level 6 timing, right, that we spoke about quite a bit. You think Yule's game for him?
I guess so. I think that you need the Yules maybe because of the silence for the silence from the DP, right? The Yules is very important to deal with.
Just doesn't feel that all that great of a Yule's game, right?
Good rune securing.
Yeah, Giant's gonna pick up the DD
Dude,
rune.
you know how you figure out that the cut is one of the better teams in this region or in this division is that they're actually rotating at 6 minutes to secure power runes. That's how you know. That's the true test of a decent team these days. Is the first time we actually see it.
They might get a kill down bottom as well as Little Boy. Yeah, he's gonna get him.
Nice.
Now I've seen it with.
Well done,
we've seen it last week as well when the cut played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you're right. You're right.
Oh, it was the cut as well, right? Okay, it's a solid team, solid team.
But what was I going to say? Oh, right, yeah, for RL, right? It just doesn't seem like all that fun of a Yule's game, because yes, it's going to save you from silence, so like I kind of do see it as being necessary, but also it sets you up for Spear, it sets you up for a Bramble Maze, you know, allows Bristle to
or
get
silence, maybe.
Maybe sets you up for silence, yeah, if you save yourself from either of the other two. Yeah, so it's kind of a tough game here. I don't know, maybe you just go stats BKB, but it just doesn't feel that amazing. Then you lack initiation.
I agree.
It's tough.
I think Ags is actually pretty good here, to be honest with you, but I don't know if it's like too expensive as a first item, because obviously, you know, Ags, the dual silence, particularly against Bristle, is really good. The thing about Yules is I feel like Yules has to do too much this game, because I see Yules being good offensively against the Bristle. It's good to save him from the silence, but there's so many conditions and factors you have to keep in mind when you use it, either on the Bristle or on yourself, that it might actually add, like, detract more than it adds to your playstyle.
I like the suggestion of the Ag Scepter, but it is quite an expensive item, right? Whenever we see the Void Spirit, we tend not to see him go rushing that item anymore, and if you do, it seems to me like it's always played with a super aggressive offlaner that can make you a lot of space, like a Timbersaw, right? Or like a Tide Hunter in a good Tide game where you can just sit mid and cut waves, not cut waves, but he can clear waves, you know, ad nauseum until the enemy team can fight, but then you have Ags on your Void Spirit and he's happy to show up. That's not really the case with a Shaker, so I just, yeah, it's tough. I feel like their item timings are actually super awkward for 5manmidas. So I'm eager to see how they're going to look to solve this. Second power rune spawns. It's going to be bottom. Haystern for Pingu. So he's going to steal that one.
I mean, look, they've done a good job of the lane. Yeah. The Earthshaker's actually beating the Bristleback in terms of last hit, so I think their objective in the draft has been accomplished here. They didn't kill Pingu in the mid lane, not bad. These rotations are starting to work out for 5manmidas. We're seeing a much more active Wind Ranger on the map. You have to take advantage of this early lead to a degree. I mean, not really a lead, but early farm. Exo directly to Lies, stays near her, or near him rather, to make sure that you can't get the marksmanship procs off. but Klitz will still get shackled. He's lasting for a fair amount of time, but they're lacking the damage to actually kill off Lies, and they're going to lose Klitz.
Arena's up.
And they might also lose... No, that's it.
Yep, and there's the strength of the Tombstone, right? Put it on the cliff. No one to really help the DP. Only level 2 Tombstone. So, I mean, level 2 Tombstone, at least if you get 2 or 3 zombies, becomes acceptable, especially against these heroes that receive percentage-based movement increases, as a DP does with the Exo, right? The Tombstone zombie's really going to slow her down, so it couldn't really go anywhere. 1-for-1 trade, going the way of 5manmidas there, especially because that's the first Exo used. First Exo doesn't usually get a tower, but it usually applies some sort of pressure, a little bit more pressure than we saw there, as it's going to be, again, just a small one for 5manmidas. But yeah, the lane's continuing to turn out pretty decent for them. Pretty decent.
Yep. You're opening up the map to a degree by farming that aggressively, and you're still, look, you go again for another incursion. Pretty good, because Lies should be dying here.
Yeah,
thanks to that stun, and that is the most important kill that the cut can get. It's really all about Lies here. In the bottom lane, they also kill off Ray. Not as important, though, for Scourge McDuck. Just at least he's not bothered by farming. That's one of the advantages of the Bristleback versus Drow carry, which is Bristleback goes into the trees, or into the jungle, and nobody can touch him unless you, like, 5-man gank him. Drow can be ganked by 2 heroes easily.
Yep. Especially when they put a ward down previously. They were looking for stacks with that ward. No one actually ended up making any stacks for 5manmidas. Hold that thought, Bolo. Just stand still.
Oh, they did.
Oh,
they did.
Oh, there they go. Okay, they're going to get him now.
They made 1 or 2 stacks, rather. They just cleared them quickly by Drow. It was like 2 single stacks. Yeah. Not the biggest thing, but it was like, yeah, small amount.
It's not real. I mean, sure, yeah. It's technically stacks. It counts.
Yeah, I mean, just pointing out that 5manmidas is trying, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think they have the capacity to be able to defend from, DP Bristleback Mars. This is the most run-at-you strat you can see.
Yeah, only level 4 as well for, I want to say, both supports. For a lot of the supports. It's 5 for the Windrunner now, 4 for Undying. I think he just consumed a book, so now he's got at least level 3 Tombstone. And again, that's pretty powerful here in this game, as they're going to make the jump onto Pingu. Oh, he runs right into the Aether Remnant, but they don't have detection. It'll be fine. DP is tanking with her illusions as they're going to bring in the catapult for the siege. 5manmidas looking to defend as there's the second Exo of the game. This one seems to be a little bit more promising. She will be able to tank for the catapult. Fortify is used by 5manmidas as they look to repel the spooky, scary ghost out from underneath their tier 1 tower. Pingu ready to fight in as well, as the tower will be taken down. But this is time that Lies has to spend mid lane defending, and Bristol's just continuing to farm. And they're not done pushing even, as you say. DNM's rotating through from top after he got the top tier 1, and down goes the mid tower as well.
And Klitz could be... No, that's fine. Yeah. There's the power as well also of having a offlaner that can build Armlet. Sounds like a ridiculous category. Become so popular since Collapse started doing this on every hero. And Mars versus Earthshaker, right? Earthshaker, there's no item that you can really build on Earthshaker unless you want to grief that will allow him to destroy his lane and push the Bristle back out, right? I don't think that anything you can think about that won't like grief the game. But Mars is very simple. You build Armlet, there's no way that Drow is contesting you anymore. It gives you a lot of armor as well, which is helpful against the marksmanship, especially early on top of your bulwark. And it makes it so that now you take the tier 1, you rotate, and you don't even need to blink in for these engagements. It's not about the surprise factor, it's about the fact that you're so tanky that nobody can contest you. At least until Little Boy gets a blink dagger, initiations become easier for them. He is going for a Falcon Blade into Axe, which is, I guess, the best solution into, like, what do I get that gives me stats that allows me to be a bit stronger early, but it's not going to be, enough for him to solo kill a Bristle, for example.
Yeah, Bristle is going to be a major problem, right? But I like what 5manmidas is doing here at the least, is they're putting some tower pressure down bottom. Of course, they're not going to push tier 2s this early. They're not that strong. 5manmidas, they don't really want to go into the triangle because it's a Bristle. We already said we can't kill him. So they just look for objectives elsewhere. And as for, again, with this Tombstone and the threat of Echo Slam, the cut not too eager to fight into them either, as they'll just continue pushing waves into tier 2s and farming wherever else that they can on the map. But still, the game is strongly going the way of the cut. I'm just highlighting that 5manmidas doing the next best thing available to them. Still smoke now across the map. Maybe look to give the boot to their jungle invaders.
Okay. So this is something that I remember Insania playing out a lot in TI. I'll talk about this in a second because they're going to engage.
They're going to try. Smoke breaks. As So RL, he's got 8th the Remnant. He's going to catch the Willow. Fissure is going to prevent her from leaving as the Terrorize being channeled is going to connect.
Nice.
But absolutely nowhere for her to go, especially with that Fissure blocking her path.
So if you notice, that they push down bottom, right? And so they push down bottom. They see no sense of life there. Nobody's going to defend it. The enemy team could either be mid or the top lane. But obviously right now you're thinking, well, we just pushed down bottom. Like, we just took their tier 1. What are they doing? Are they just like idling mid in the triangle and doing nothing? Probably not. A good team, what they're going to be doing is trying to go into the enemy jungle and take advantage of the resources given to them by this push, by the space, right? So by this, 5manmidas can actually guess exactly where the enemy team is without the need of any vision. And they got caught in the ward towards the latter end of that smoke, but not before it, right? So it was actually well rotated by 5manmidas, and also a good smoke because they just know that if they initiate with this extra vision, they'll be stronger. So they can actually guess that Cut will be waiting for them there and use the ward to their advantage.
Top lane, DNM. Yeah, he might be in a bit of trouble. He threw out the arena. DD active now for RRL. He's going to go for the TP play. Will he make it out? Nope. I got him.
Nope. Nope. That's you laugh not to cry, DNM. I get it. I get it. Don't worry about it. We're going to see, by the way, that Void Spirit or RL is going to be going for Kaya into Boots of Travel. Interesting choice, and actually don't disagree with the Boots of Travel, because what it's going to help you do is open up the map as much as possible. You're going to go for a very unsafe farm as Void Spirit, which you already can, but this amplifies that fact, and this allows you to take better advantage of the map's resources without putting your Drow in danger, which is probably your biggest issue right now. Where does Drow farm, and how do I give her enough space if we can't fight?
Kits is trying to steal a stack here. Ray's going to scout her, but Ray's actually scouted first. Level 2 Exo's ready to go, as well as the Sange and Hooded Defiant. So this DP is pretty tanky, but calls in reinforcements just to be safe. Giants closing on in, as well as Scourge McDuck connecting. Scourge McDuck without his Axe is on the way, actually. This could be a big fight as they're kicking it off with a nice Terrorize onto the Willow. She's going to be rooted a second time, but the Exo Ghost unable to close the gap. Tombstone dropped here on the cliff, but they're going to tear through this Undying. No vision for this Tombstone, however, so this fight's a little bit sketchy. His little boy is going to fissure from behind. Down goes the Undying as he's kited out the DP. They're going to trade him off for the Willow. Scourge McDuck now running down RL underneath his tier 2 tower with just a pelican of zombies running him down. Peloton, rather. As there's going to be a nice double kill in the Arena of Blood. Again, this run-at-you lineup really working out for the Cut. As I think they're going to return, and they have farmed up these Ancients. In fact, 5manmidas, even with the Tombstone Avo, they just can't stop them from, well, just running at them. That's tough.
Yeah. I do remember in Romero's original cut of Dawn of the Dead, there was this like really scary pelican zombie, which I know you were referencing there.
I meant to say Peloton.
No, of course it was the pelican. I get it. Don't worry about it. The viewers are horror fans like you. What a niche reference.
Wow, so artsy. Can't believe it. Yeah, I actually own that on 35mm film. I played in my home cinema every now and then. Yes. And please don't call it a movie. It's a film, okay? Thank you very much.
Right. That makes sense.
It's a picture.
I never noticed that's actually what pompous people say, and I realized I call them films and not movies. So I guess that makes me pompous.
What could I say?
I
was friends with a couple of film majors in uni.
Well, you could just say you were friends with unemployed people. You don't need to say film majors. Pingu, he manages to TP in time as he was cutting lanes a bit, managed to find some farm. That team fight went fine. Like, this is one of those moments where the strategy of Dota goes out the window because you have Bristleback DP Mars, so you just can run at anything and fight. Though I will say that 5manmidas decided to retake that fight in the wrong position after a while, and that wasn't ideal for them because they obviously ran away from the Tombstone. But it still is the Cuts game to do whatever they want right now. Obviously, you're not going to dive to your threes, but as long as you play within a sensible range of the map, you're going to be fine. You're a bit too strong. They got the Axe from Bristle in the middle of that fight, and that also allows them to do Roche now, and it's just too much minus armor to deal with. That plus the Swarm, it's too much. Yeah,
they also have now Axe for the Shaker delivered, but it was delivered right after that fight ended. Like, they were just so close to maybe having the tools, right? DP and Bristle both kind of chilling with next to 9 Ancients. That's tempting for a slam, as it's tempting for them to go for Roche. They're going to drop Tombstone, but a bit too aggressively, and the Arena's going to zone out literally everyone else from 5manmidas as they will dispatch of the Undying. They'll take down his Tombstone as they desecrate his grave, and now they're going to take down the big guy Roche himself. 5manmidas, though, they feel pressure to still make something out of this, Avo. I just don't know if they can.
Yeah. RL just disturbing them, at least delaying as much as possible. It's the best you can do because you know you won't get caught. But Aegis already on the Bristle, and this Aegis should mean 1, if not 2 tier 2s already. If the enemy team makes a mistake, this could even mean high ground, honestly.
Whoa.
Oh, but you're making the mistake,
I don't
Pingu.
think so.
Yes, time lapse though. Here comes the help. Pingu, time lapse immediately. Terrorize on top of that spear. They got little boy. They reduced his armor, and now they're reducing his life. And he's been reduced to smithereens.
Oh.
Now Scourge McDuck goes forward. He does whip Lies.
There it is.
Oh no, Lies
Wow.
does not like this. Lies being whipped. He's been speared. But the poor man is a vanilla
Scourge
man.
McDuck.
He doesn't like
He's
these kind
outskilling
of
them.
things. They even take Ray.
He's pressed Q and W
Voids.
all over them. How do you outplay this?
How do you look at the APM
Oh
on this
my
bristle?
goodness.
Do you even understand the StarCraft player? RL also in a position. He's running away. He's got the
600
swarm. He's trying to
APM.
cut the lane.
Oh my goodness, that damage.
That damage is ridiculous.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no, RL. He went back into the spear, and most importantly into the tip, and that's gonna kill him. What a crazy fight that yielded nothing for 5manmidas.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how RL ended up back there. He was mid lane. He was cutting another wave as to try and prevent this from happening. Now, as we see Kits and DNM line up for a tier 2 tower siege. But that's exactly what you don't want to happen there, right? Team Cut, or The Cut, have just hit this massive timing for themselves where they're super, 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 super strong, and, well, you just can't fight them. And it looks like they tried to take a skirmish. I mean, even trying to kill someone like a Weaver proved to be a little bit too difficult for them.
Yeah. I mean, it was only 2 people trying to kill Pingu, but it's just that they have so much control on the cut that you can't really sneak in these skills either. It's really just Lies that can afford it. And if Lies is dead, then you're done. Also, look at Lies' build. Like, it's the correct build for this game, but it's also a build that's just very lackluster. You don't have the damage. It's just BKB plus a bit of agility, you know? I would even question maybe the Falcon Blade. If that's a waste on a Drow, who might just do better with Wraith Bands. I'm not sure. They find Ray. Another kill for Undying. No scary Pelican this time.
No Pelicans. No Pelicans. What are Pelicans? Pelicans, are they the ones with the big mouths, you know? Or are those different
Yeah, there's the
birds?
ones that, like, the massive mouths.
Yeah.
Like birds that, like, they swoop down, they get a bunch of water and fish.
Yeah,
At the same time.
Dodging the arena
Okay.
there. They've got vision, and
Oh,
they've
no.
canceled. Oh, that's not a blink dagger, of course. It's the enchant totem. He's making a lot of space, actually. Kit's gonna commit
he
a
does.
TP. He's gonna go into the base now.
Nice.
Pingu giving chase. Little boy is still gonna be scouted though. He's gonna probably purchase something here in the enemy fountain. Another enchant totem here in a second, but he can't get it off. Spear will catch him. But hey, not bad. 3 enemy heroes back
not bad.
home is a lot of time burned off of this Aegis.
There's one of those moments that your pride gets the best of you because you know you shouldn't be following him, but it doesn't matter because you can't let him do these things.
Scourge McDuck.
And Scourge is like, I can do it too. Look at me, I can dive. Oh wait, no, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I'm the
He's
carry. Scourge
fairly
McDuck
alone,
trying to get
but
away.
Of course, can they kill him? And I think not.
No. No, he has 2 lives anyway, so. He has 2 minutes of this Aegis. He knows he has to do something a bit crazy here to make this work.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, the bullwhip again for Lies. The bane of his existence at this point, forced to BKB TP. That feels bad, man.
Yeah, that's not fun. Oh, man. He's not really getting to play Dota this game. Scourge McDuck is just outscaling them with this Axe Bristleback build. There he goes. Level 17. He's about to hit. He's got 2 more spikes basically on this. He's going to have Aegis number 2. I guess 3, right? Aegis number 2, which comes with the Shard. He's going to have Warpath level 3, and then the 20 talent if he wants to go for the Quill stack damage, and then 25, which is a little bit later in the game. But those first 2 spikes are coming a lot sooner than that last one. So he's probably, or the Cut, are going to be looking to not end the game, but definitely put themselves in what is going to be an unstoppable position. They're almost there, I would argue, and I think most reasonable minds would argue as well. But there's still a chance here for 5manmidas. We haven't really seen them look for too much action, and now they're looking for a kill top. But DP is basically baiting here. There's a tier 1 tower still up here, so reinforcements could TP in a little bit too quickly. As DNM setting the trap for RL down bottom. They catch him with the spear just from the fog of war. Trees demolished and taken down is the Void Spirit. Kit's TPing in. They had more than enough damage and control to kill the Void.
DNM can literally play any position. He's still one of the best in that position. He's kind of crazy. This guy's so good.
It's good at Dota.
That was actually a really patient play. Little boy. There's the Yules by Giant. Sets up for the Bramble Maze. Bedlam on top of this. Where is the NM? Right in your face.
Yep. He's got Shadow Blade now on the Mars.
Of course he does. I have never seen
Me
this.
neither.
But honestly,
Yeah.
people were saying, well, Drow will get Silver Edge and she can deal with Bristle. No, it's actually DNM was getting it first.
He heard that and he went, oh yeah, I forgot I can do that. Oh, here he goes. Oh, lies. He knows it's coming. Jaws music.mp3, but he's still going to be found. Did not want to commit the BKB here. And you know what? Doesn't really have to. It's only Giant that's here next to him. Silence.
Oh, no.
Yule Sceptered. It's going to be the Dark Willow, but she sets herself up here for the 8th Remnant and sniped down by the power shot. Kill goes to Lies. DNM actually might be in a bit of trouble, but here comes Scourge McDuck. He's going to close the door from behind. DNM getting chunked, though, as Lies will get the kill. BKB'd up is Lies. He's thinking about fighting into this, but thinks a second time about it and decides, yeah, you know what, I'll just TP away from that Bristleback, thank you very much. Ray has no such opportunity, however, as he is just going to be walked to death. No, actually, they're going to respect the high ground, and they're going to back themselves up. All right.
Oh.
Decent.
That's, you know, sometimes you play for the memes and you break apart the seams, right? That's what Mars has experienced. There was no need for him to do anything like that. And they gave Lies a free kill. But I guess you can afford to do that because, I mean, even though your lineup is still early game, you still have a fair window to execute it. And you're probably waiting for next Roche anyway. So right now is a bit of downtime. Ideally, don't feed during downtime, but it's okay. Pingu, they missed the Gust. So Scourge just walking in. Shackle Shot not going to stop Scourge. Oh, wow, Lies! I blinked and he ceased to exist.
Yep.
Lies chunked by the Bristle.
Yep.
No chance. Little Boy is also getting destroyed here by the Exorcism. But
First
maybe they're going
Echo.
too far. They use the Echo Slam on top of that. Klitz, though, will survive. No problem. And here's Scourge. He's actually going to be the one leading the charge now and taking down the Undying. That was such a ridiculous amount of damage. Thanks to the Solar Crest, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a... Oh, yeah, Solar Crest. Yeah, Solar Crest and... yeah, he just...
Bristle.
just bristle things. Yeah, wow. Draw Ranger, made out of paper, you know. That's why you don't want your your D&D class to be a Ranger if you're expected to tank. That's not going to be too fun of a time. And here's why. I believe I've cut a replay of it. Yes, I have. Just keep an eye out for this Drow Ranger. And a little magic trick here by Scourge McDuck. He's going to make her disappear. You ready? One auto attack. Oh, hold on. I think it's the second one. Oh, my goodness. That's not even a crit. That's just regular auto attack damage.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Oof. Yeah.
Wait till he gets level 25 on the Bristle. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Alpha, I don't know if we're going to get there this game. At the rate this one's heading.
That's a good point.
There's going to be another arena. They find RRL. Can they kill him, though, with the silence on top? And another God's Rebuke. They've got him. Lies. It's just feeblously. Feeblously? Feeble? He's making a feeble attempt there at saving his ally. See, his arrows are just struck down by the walls of the arena.
That's why Drow versus Mars is honestly not good. Like, you sacrificed it all for the lane, and it didn't really work out for you.
Damn, he still came out
Now
of the
there's
lane
the
with
last
an
tier 2
Armlet.
standing. Yeah, it's true. This is the last tier 2 they're gonna take down, and then they go for Roche. They also got a Basher on Scourge, so if Drow, or Lies rather, tries to go for the BKB TP attempt again, that's gonna be swiftly smacked down by an angry pig. I guess. Is he a pig or a hedgehog?
He's a hedgehog. Who, Bristle? Yeah, he's a hedgehog,
okay.
right?
He's a hedgehog?
We've
Okay.
debated this before, I believe, in Season 2 of
right,
DPC. What was the other one? He's a hedgehog or a... Sonic is a hedgehog, and then there's also a porcupine, right?
Oh, the porcupine,
and someone
yeah. I
in,
guess he's a porcupine.
There's a difference. Like, someone in Twitch chat is like, well, you know, hello, I am a biologist, and one porcupines, they expel their quills, and the other ones don't, or something like that.
Right.
And
So this is a porcupine.
I don't remember. I don't remember the difference. But it's okay. We have Twitch chat here to correct us. I'm sure that they're going to be doing that already.
Look, as a Spaniard, how I see it is if I think it's tasty, it's probably a pig. He looks tasty to me, so that's my...
Does he? I don't know, man. When his first ability is viscous nasal goo. I mean, read this flavor text. Having caught a cold while stuck in the snow, Bristleback turns it to his advantage. Do you think that sounds tasty?
Yeah, it's whatever. I don't know. Probably look make a soup with that or something. I don't think it's that bad. Look, you just gotta be smart about it. I think he's very tasty, personally. He's second to me. He's second after Slardar.
I still don't think you're right about this. To me, it's definitely like Shaker is probably the most delicious here. I think this is like literally Sunsfan and Cinderin now. basically.
Yeah. Well, you do sound like one of them. So.
Yes, of course. Everyone always tells me, "Wow, you're so smart. You sound just like Cinder." And I know, guys.
Yeah. They tell this on the street, and he lives in Malaysia, so they tell him Bahasa, and he never understood it, so I had to learn Bahasa just to understand this compliment.
It's true.
And it's very weird.
You know,
so many people turn on the street to talk.
There's
to
another
him.
Malaysian player in this game. Speaking of that,
it's Ray.
Yeah. It is Ray.
Yep. But he's an expat, right? He's living in America, by my understanding, or he was studying there for university. Which is 5manmidas the team, by the way. It's just university students. They have participated in CS Star League before, or
are they all from the same uni? Hold on, RL's gonna. Oh,
I don't think so.
Dodged. It hasn't been.
It wasn't this team. It wasn't this team that participated in the. But they like the individual players. I've seen them participate in Star League.
Okay. I wonder if any of them. I mean,
on that note,
go ahead.
I was gonna say like people were asking in the chat like who Little Boy is. Little Boy was in Infinity last season, a Peruvian team. And he's a Peruvian kid. I think he's still in school, to be honest. And the reason why he's on 5manmidas partially is because, or he's not on a better team, is partially because he prioritizes school over Dota right now. But he's quite good.
Arena's out.
As they destroy them.
Two dead.
Yep.
There's a slam.
Bolo's dead too.
Careful, boys. Oh, but they don't have anything to be careful for. They're too tanky. Yeah, Kits is pinging it. Shaker's missing. And yes, he is, because he's just unwilling to get in these fights. Little Boy, he's just having such a difficult game, isn't he? Again, we've only seen one Echo this game, Avo, and it did pick him up a kill, as he's going to be picked up by the Yule Scepter and taken down by the Dark Willow. Buyback out from the Void Spirit. Shaker's got buyback himself, as they'll at least take down the Willow. Now it's going to be a 4v3 scenario. 2 buybacks available now for 5manmidas. As there's going to be the spear. BKB, though. DNM. Oh, there's no detection for him. He is caught here by the Gust, but there's still no detection for him, so he's just going to walk off the high ground. Yeah, so on the 5manmidas point, like they're a team of like honestly really talented players. In my opinion, I think they're really high skill level, but they're a team that doesn't try, or their path to pro is not the same as say the Cut. It's actually a team that, by my understanding, like scrims and looks at over the replays and works. The Cut scrims can confirm.
That's their whole.
Scourge McDuck, he let us know last week on the interview.
Yeah,
that, they do scrim.
Not surprised by that. Like, I mean, the Scourge McDuck. If you ever watched any Div 2 or Tier 2 games, he's been in the scene forever, and he's actually always been regarded as a really high level player. I always will remember him started from the Bottom, which is one of my favorite teams ever.
Started from the Bottom. Very, very good one. I think that team had like a Drake logo for some time, and then it was, Bottom, obviously.
Yeah, it was Bottom writing on it was Obama writing on Bottom with an American flag, which was the best logo ever. But yeah, for 5manmidas, Little Boy added to the team because they're again a team that like wants to compete, and they're really high level players, but they don't want to leave school, or they want to prioritize that over Dota. And many times that means missing matches or missing.
Oh, but they're not missing any spears as they connect another one here onto the Shaker. He's going to be rooted up. He's not silenced, and he's going to drop the slam here onto 2. Up to the high ground he goes with the Enchant Totem, but in some trouble is going to be the Undying. He drops his Tombstone on the low ground. There's a Silver Edge up though. Careful here, Scourge McDuck. He is going to be taken down on that first life. Tombstone zoning away the rest of the Cut. So it's going to be a 4v4 fight now, even-footed, but here comes Kits from behind. Lives pops his BKB. He's going to try and tear into Kits. No one here to close the gap, but Lisha has to TP out again. RL, he's got no spells to get him up to the high ground. He's completely trapped here. Yules buys him a little bit of time, but he comes back into a world of pain as Scourge McDuck will bash him into the grave. Dead for 90 seconds, as that's going to be a dieback penalty applied, and it looks like it's at the very least here, Abo, going to be Megas going the way of the Cut.
We're going to take down a tower down bottom, it seems like, as well for the Cut. Sorry, the last racks as well, as you're mentioning. I don't know if Drow can defend this. Nope. There's Lies, set up for the Yule Scepter. Be brought down to a stun. This time there's no BKB, so Lies will die again. And it might not just be Megas, it will be the game.
Yep. Kits couldn't even get in there, but he had the Ghost doing all the damage. GG well played is called. The Cut will take game number 1. 35-11, 31k up. Clean game for them off the back of this bristleback strat. Well played.
Cut is a solid team. Their drafting was really good this game. I mean, honestly, they outdrafted their opponents by a fair amount. They had a much easier and much better draft to play.